Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Hitch Rack's destination 4-bike rack carrier here on our 2020 Nissan Murano. Now, platform style racks are going to be a great way to really start increasing that stability that our bike's going to feel. And with a 4-bike destination bike rack, you are going to get 4 bikes on this platform. So a lot of times you get those big 4 bikes, kind of carriers, you're looking at hanging style. The destination offers a great solution of giving us a nice stable platform. So things with that right out of the gate, we're not going to have our bikes making a lot of contact with each other. They won't be swaying. Won't have to be worried about tying down those wheels. We are going to have a lot of good tie down points. And yes, it looks a little formidable when you are just kind of looking at the rack itself, at least in my opinion. There's a lot of straps, a lot of things moving. However, they are all going to be very useful to make sure that our bikes stay nice and condensed to our bike rack. Talking about it, as you guys can see on the very end, we do have a little reflectors on the end. I like pointing those out. I don't think they're standard enough across the industry. It's just nice to let people know exactly where we are, especially if we're getting home, whether it be a long drive, maybe we're getting home from dusk. That way we have, reducing those accidents that we might happen. Nice to let people know exactly where we are, especially when we're black. We have a rack that is all black. A little harder to see at night. The strips themselves, too, very, very easy technology. Just little kind of ratchet strip stuff. However, they do come with just a little rubber mount here, which makes it really good. That way we don't have any kind of damage on our rims. Not going to have any kind of friction there with the rubber. Now, the cradle size isn't going to be anything too crazy here. And the strips themselves aren't going to be getting very, very long. They're going to be doing a good job for your semi-fat tires, as you can see. Pretty decent size there. However, our width, putting this around 3 inches on maximum width there. So not going to be anything too crazy, but one great thing about those strips is they are just a little bit adjustable. You'll notice these 2 little holes that they are actually in can make it nice if we have any kind of shorter or wider wheelbases, just depending on our bikes. And that makes it really versatile. And that does bring us to our center mass as well, and I think that's why the versatility of this guy really starts shining through. You will notice that we have these center frame mounts that are actually holding on, and that is our main contact. Talking about frames, though, if you are looking at a way of getting carbon frame spikes to the trailhead with you, unfortunately, this isn't going to be an option, as that frame contact will end up deteriorating and warping those carbon frames over time. However, with the 35-pound capacity rating, I don't think we're going to have many issues at all of getting most of our smaller standard bikes up on here. Now, mountain bikes, I'd maybe start checking. You might start getting a little bit too heavy there, so let's make sure we are checking those weight ratings. However, for us, everyday use, kind of family style, it is going to be doing a great job of getting most of everything we need there. And that's where the versatility really starts helping, as this center mass can really start pivoting around. Has 360 degrees of rotation here, which makes it really nice and versatile for a host of different systems, whether we need a horizontal point, diagonal, as you can imagine. That horizontal is going to be a little hard. As you can see, that strip kind of gets in the way right there of that bind. It's definitely possible, just a little bit harder than those diagonal and side mounts. However, nice that we can actually adjust those to our needs. Now, I think the biggest disadvantage with the destination, however, though, it doesn't have a tilt-away feature. So if we do want to get access to our hatch, we will have to end up taking off all of our bikes. However, that's not going to take us too much time at all. Let's go ahead and see how we can do that. We've already mentioned our strips. To release them, all we have to do is press in on our lever. One thing I did want to mention with them, though, too, you will notice they have that little hole for our finger to get through, which can be great to make sure we are tying this down nice and tight. And especially if your hands are cold or if it's rainy, host of different reasons, makes it really nice that we have that little hole that we can just go down and get a good purchase to make sure we are securing our wheels effectively for our bikes. Well, that does bring us to our last point of contact. I like to just go ahead and make sure I have a good hand on kind of the inside here. That way it doesn't tilt into the vehicle. And all I have to do is press in that lever, press out on that strip, complete it all the way. Put that knob out to the side, and then I can go ahead and complete my dismount. Very easy to do once you actually get it undone. I just be careful watching those strips, watching those kind of foot pads too, making sure they're out of the way, can really start making that dismount and mount that much easier for ourselves. We'll go ahead and condense all our straps really quick. And again, I think this is one of the small disadvantages that this guy has, just how much straps there actually are. However, it's only going to take us fractions of time. So again, really not the biggest headache, in my opinion. Pretty much worth for what you're getting. A lot of good contact points for our bike. I'm going to go ahead and bring this mass down, though, and to do so, you see this little knob on the side just goes ahead and just kind of goes loose and allows this pivoting arm to grab out move it to the side, and then I just want to bring this entire mass to the end. That way it is going to be nice and collapsed. Now we could just leave it like this. It'll do an okay job in this position. You can see though, not a lot of natural resistance. So what I want to go ahead and do is just take one of my extra strips from my cradles that I have lying around and just run it through my arm, cinching that down, and you can see that's going to do a good job of holding that arm there. Won't be popping out, causing us any kind of issues. Before we go ahead and actually put this in the put away section, as you can see, I can't get access to that back now. One disadvantage of this guy, you are getting this 4 bikes on a nice little entry-level platform. However, can't tilt away. If you are looking for those, I can always recommend going way up to the Quad Envy if you are looking for a 4-bike tilting capacity. However, that is going to be way more in the pocketbook for you. However, as you can see, we can still get access to the back here, get those coolers, bike helmets, anything I might need. So not going to be the end of the world that we can't tilt that away, especially with how easy that takedown is. Just something to consider if you're looking for quick, easy access. Now, with any hitch-mounted accessory on our vehicle, we are going to be adding some length. Definitely want to keep it in mind here. With 4 bikes, too, definitely going to be a lot of length to consider. So let's go ahead and take a quick look from the rear of our bumper to the very end of our post. Puts me right at 37 3/4 inches there. So definitely a lot of length that we want to break down. But we do have a quick way of doing that effectively. But right before we get to it, let's go ahead and check our clearance in this position, because we don't want this bouncing around, getting hit on any kind of the pavement as we drive, causing any damage to our bikes. So I want to take a quick look here. Looks like our wings are actually going to be the lowest point of contact as far as that can go. This will be repeated on the other side. And this puts us right at 18 1/4 inches to the end of the wing. So that's pretty high in my opinion. I don't think we're going to have any issues. Just be careful if you have a very steep driveway or if you're doing any kind of off-roading with this guy, just to be conscious of that length. But to shorten this guy down isn't going to take any time at all. We want to go ahead and put this in its put-away position. To start, I'm just going to go ahead and remove this little clip in the back here. Going to go ahead and just untighten this knob. Spin it out. Once it reaches a certain point, we can just back it right off. That safety cable makes it real easy to lay down, walk up our entire mast, right into position, and reinsert our knob. Now, it's not going to go all the way, so let's make sure we are watching that pinhole as we set it up. And then I can run this guy down and make it nice and tight. I do like how large this knob is. It makes this really fast and easy to actually secure. I'm not pinching my hands that much. Conforming to me pretty well. Makes it really easy to cinch this down or out to make that kind of put away feature that much more quicker for ourselves. As you can see, getting pretty close to here to our Murano though, we actually are making just a little contact with our rubber strippings. So that would be something that I'd watch, making sure we are just pulling those in all the way. As you can see, that way having no contact with our Murano. I can get about a finger or so in there, between there. And this one too, we could also, if we were crazy enough, we could pull this strip out, hold that in here. Again, it's not going to be the end of the world there. I don't think we're going to have any contact, but it's something that you're worried about. Those straps really do have a lot of auxiliary uses, which can be great for it. But we shortened down a lot of that length. Let's go ahead and see just exactly what we're working with here. From the rear of our bumper to the very end, looks like that's even exactly with our wings. I'll go ahead and say it's right at 11.5 inches there. So already cutting that down to about only a foot. As you can see now, definitely going to have an easier time getting this in the garage, or at least a lot more maneuverability for those tight parking places wherever we might be. Again, nice and little simple solution for us to shorten that down. I want to go ahead and give us another little dimension here of our clearance just in this position, just for our own ease of mind here. From the bottom of the ground to the very end, is putting us right at 14.5 inches to the top of that, or I'm sorry, the bottom of our outermost assembly. And at our lowest point of our inner assembly is putting us right at 13.5 inches. With that being so close to our axle, I don't think we're going to have any issues at all. I just want to go ahead and let everybody know in case you are doing anything crazy out there. Moving our way on the inside, you will notice we have a 2-inch shank today. And today we've also gone ahead and thrown on an etrailer hitch pin alignment collar. Now, I always recommend these guys. They're definitely helpful on a host of different things. Now, this carrier isn't the heaviest in my opinion. I think it's only right around about 42 pounds or so. And what's great about this though, you can see this is a little bit underneath our Murano. Our hitch definitely sits a little deeper. So what's great about this is when I walk it in, all I have to do is put this collar on, and once I actually find that hitch pin alignment, now every time I pull this off and put it right back on, It'll be perfectly aligned. I can go ahead and start threading my bolt right away, not fidgeting with it, not having to, almost pinch my hands. And I also just really like it because it is underneath that Murano as mentioned, so it becomes a pain to actually get underneath here. However, if we move our way further on inside, we can see we have a threaded anti-rattle hitch bolt today. And now it is pretty standard across the industry, but you love to see them. So you can see I'm shaking this guy. It's bringing this all in line with the hitch. You can see I'm shaking that entire vehicle. That's making this a nice singular system, which is making for a nice smooth ride for ourselves, bike rack, but especially our bikes. And on the end too, you will notice we do have a locking core included today, and that will just simply go on here and make sure that we are nice and secure to our rack. Talking about locking cores as well, this does come with a cable lock to make sure we can start cinching down our bikes to it. So great that we can actually make sure that our bikes are secured to our rack, but our rack will be secured to our vehicle when we leave it unattended. Well, the Destination does a lot of things right. You are getting that platform style, which is giving you a lot of stability, and we are getting a lot of good contact points so that we can maximize that stability by tying on each other end. If you look, you'll really see that your bike starts becoming one of the rack, which is nice because we're reducing a lot of that play. We're not going to be having this banging around, causing any kind of issues. Again, the only caveat with this thing, you don't have that tilt-away capability, which is very nice. The Murano does have a lot of space in the back that we want to access, so that's just kind of a con that we're going to have to start waiting for ourselves. Well, I think that about does it for our look at the Holiday Destination 4 bike rack carrier here on our 2020 Nissan Murano. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.
Now we're going to go ahead and take it on our test course. First, we'll start with the slaloms. This is going to show the side-to-side action. It's kind of going to mimic the movements that you'll see whenever you're driving down the road normally. Now we'll have the alternating speed bumps. This is going to be more so like the uneven roads and some of that uneven terrain you might be traveling on, and see how it holds up.